In those situations, man, game on the line. I love the ball in my hands. That's what I live for, man. That's what I play this game for. And we were running a lot of plays, a lot of in cuts, and I felt like we could have taken advantage of some things earlier, but I feel like that was the perfect timing for it. And so Dante made a great play, ran a great route. The protection held up. They went cover zero. So we got a chance to take a shot on an aggressive corner, and it worked out for us. And those are the things we can count on from Dante and from our O-line.
And that's Geno Smith immediately after the Raiders beat the New England Patriots 20-13 here at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Before we get into everything that happened today, I just want to remind everybody I'm Vinny Bonsignore. I cover the Raiders for the Las Vegas Review-Journal and Vegas Nation. And to my right is my colleague and good friend Adam Hill, also covers the Raiders and everything else for the Las Vegas Review-Journal and Vegas Nation. This is Vegas Nation First and 10, your go-to for Raider news and analysis. Adam Hill, Geno Smith talking about the big play that basically sealed this game. The Raiders are up by 10. They're facing a 3rd and 20 at their own 25-yard line. Yeah, they probably would have liked to get a little bit of room to give A.J. Cole some more room to work with. But Geno Smith said, no, we want a little bit more than that. It was a zero, coverage for the Patriots. It's basically an all-out blitz. That left Dante Thornton, the 6'5" rookie, in a favorable matchup, one-on-one matchup against Carlton Davis. And the next thing you know, it's a 30-plus yard gain, first down. The Raiders basically win the game. Pete Carroll says they would have won the game regardless. Not quite sure about that. But it certainly helped to come up with that big play, and that's where I'm going to start, is Geno Smith, the big plays that he made. A bunch of plays for over 20 yards, spread the ball around. Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer, obviously Dante Thornton, Trey Tucker, a big 26-yard touchdown grab, and another, play of over 20 yards. Geno Smith, I thought, showed everybody why Pete Carroll loved him in Seattle and wanted him here with the Raiders.
Yeah, I think he did, most everything you asked him to do. I would say there was certainly a stretch in the game where he, threw an interception, really, really bad decision, throws an interception, and then kind of went into a shell for a while. I think it's fair to say that offense looked really stagnant and didn't do much for a couple possessions. And then really the Raiders got the momentum back with forcing a turnover of their own, and I think got the energy going again, got the juice flowing there in that spot. I will say, to your point about the big play to Dante Thornton, just coaching malpractice, really, on the Patriots' part on that play. I mean, you just let the team throw over the middle. If they're going to throw something short, let them. Why force them to throw something long and give them the opportunity to do so? Didn't make any sense to me, much like punting 4th and 10, down 10 with 5 minutes to go made no sense at all. Really questionable decision-making on the Patriots side. And I think there's, for a lot of reasons, I think the Patriots lost this game today. The Raiders did everything they had to do to take advantage of those mistakes. That's what the key to football is. The key to sports is in general, really. If the other team makes mistakes, you take advantage. The Raiders did that. And to me, I would say this is a Week 1 win. This is what Week 1 wins are. Did the Raiders play great? No. I think that nobody's going to leave here and be like, wow, the Raiders are awesome. They did what they had to do to win. They showed some things. They came out. Nobody knew what was going to go on. I think both sides were kind of feeling each other out. The Raiders made some great adjustments at halftime, didn't allow the Patriots to do anything the first 5 possessions of the second half. They did what they needed to do on offense and then really found a rhythm late in the game after some stretches where it didn't look great for a while. Didn't really make that many mistakes of their own. I mean, this was a Week 1 win where you leave and you say, all right, look, we have a ton to work on. There's a lot of areas to get better, but you're 1-0. And it's much easier to work on that when you're 1-0.
Well, no question about it. But also when you have a quarterback that could throw for 370 yards plus, the one interception, the one touchdown, but some big plays on third downs, finding open receivers, completing. Pete said it was 70% of the passes. I didn't actually look.
It was 70.6.
70.6% of his passes. That's like
I just made that number up.
Did you? It's gold.
I think I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, it's gold when you have a quarterback that is able to play, at that level. And a lot of things weren't working. The running game wasn't working. The Seattle Seahawks were the New England Patriots were pretty much selling out on the run. Putting it into Geno Smith's hands. And the zero blitz or the zero coverage with an all-out blitz, it was a bad call by the Patriots. But I'm thinking. Did they just not think that Geno Smith was either A, capable, or B, willing to say, okay, you're going to give me that?
What you're
I'm
doing
gonna
is
take
you're
it.
forcing them into it, right? I mean, you're basically saying like,
I
hey,
don't know
go
that
ahead and
every
try to throw
quarterback
something
though
deep.
is built, or cut from that same cloth, because there aren't a whole lot.
Well, what you're doing is you're thinking a punt doesn't even work for you. You need to force a turnover. You need to do something big. Like that's what you're thinking. I think I would disagree with that.
I agree.
But that's what you're thinking. And you would, to me, you basically just say, all right, look, we're gonna play back, complete something over the middle. You're gonna play safe.
Good luck getting 20 yards.
Right, you're gonna play safe. You're gonna want to keep the clock running, so you're not gonna want to take a chance downfield. So we don't, we'll just let you do that. And instead, you force them into trying to take a deep shot. It makes no sense. And the Raiders took advantage of it. They wanted to get that deep shot to Dante Thornton. They got it there. A great play there. But look, they force you into it. You have to make the play. They did. I mean, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Of, hey, look, they make a mistake. They call a coverage they shouldn't have called. They do something silly, but you could take that deep shot and not complete it. You could throw it in a place where
we've
he can't
seen
catch
that.
it, right?
Well, we haven't seen that necessarily, but I guess for me is they've got players that are capable of making those plays, and I don't think in at least the last couple of years. They were built that way, which is, absolutely, it was a tactical error by the Patriots, but there were tactical errors that were made, the last few years against the Raiders, but they just didn't have the right kind of players to make a team pay for it, and I think that's the main takeaway for me is that. They do, especially at quarterback. And, was it working in the running game? No, it obviously wasn't. But when you got guys like Trey Tucker.
Running game looked like last year's running game.
What's that?
Running game looked like last year's
running game. It did. And that's something that they're going to work on. Well, let's stay with that. What do they have to do to make that better?
Well, I mean, I would imagine that they're going to back some teams off a little bit with the way that they were able to complete passes in the passing game. And by the way, outdoors and in weather, was able to do that. So I think that is a very encouraging sign for the Raiders. You would think they'd back them off a little bit. But, look, we talked about the fact that drafting a great player in the backfield doesn't fix running games. It just doesn't. You do it through scheme and you do it through offensive line play. And the Raiders have a lot of the same personnel. Like, I thought the scheme was going to be better suited for them. I thought that they were going to be able to create more lanes because of Chip Kelly's scheme, the way that it goes. They didn't. And let's also say, like, they didn't fully commit to the run.
They did.
I mean, they actually.
He did have 19
in
carries.
in a lot of running situations. And some of them were when they're ahead and they're trying to run it down. But in a lot of running situations, they passed, and that worked. And it's like that's fine. Like you don't need to do that. I mean, if a short pass is just the same as a run, really, there's a very low risk. You complete it, move the chains, that sort of thing. Like that's fine. I don't think you have to run the ball. But they clearly want to. That's why they drafted a running back where they did. They're going to have to fix some of those things for sure. But I think a commitment to it and doing it in more situations, early downs, that sort of thing.
And just getting better at it.
Yeah, and I think that'll work. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that there was a lot of encouraging signs. I think you come out of this game and again, you could very easily have played this game, had some things you need to fix, and be 0-1. You're not. You're 1-0 on the road, all the way to the East Coast. You win despite doing some things that you didn't love and some things that you do like. And, there was, in addition to Geno and his stats and the things that he was able to do, like there was some adaptability that I think he showed that as a veteran, like that's what you do. And that's kind of that flashback of the just pure ability that made him a first-round pick.
Second round.
Excuse me, yeah. But the ability that he was such a good prospect, and you saw the talent that he had early in his career, and now he's harnessed it. He's a kind of different player, but you see those flashes, and the one play was they get him out rolling out with Genti. Basically, it was just supposed to be an easy completion, and it was covered. They had him completely locked up. They kind of knew it was coming, and he's able to look across his body, throw back the other way to Michael Mayer, who makes a great catch on the play. But that second read, which didn't even really seem like an actual read. It was just, hey, is there somebody there that I can just throw the ball to? And he found him, made that play. That was a huge play in the game, actually, to keep the chains moving. So a lot of good things that you saw, a lot of bad things that are correctable and they can work on and then try to fix, and a lot of areas that they absolutely know they need to fix. The running game being one. So it's good. And then I think when they see the tape, they're going to notice and see some things and look on the other side and say, okay, dodge some bullets. Some wide open receivers that Drake May just completely whiffed and just missed on.
Yeah.
We saw that throughout the game. So again, I think coaches like that. Like they don't want you to play a perfect game. I mean, nobody ever could anyway. If you play a perfect game,
they don't want you to play a perfect game.
If you play a perfect game, you're going back in week 1. You're going back home. And
No,
like,
I know, but
I don't know what to tell these guys. Like they were perfect today. Like
Right.
you don't want that. You want to have some things you can teach. You want to have a win. Have that exciting, fun plane flight home. Jacoby Myers talked about that. He said, this trip, no matter what I did individually, no matter how much fun I had seeing old friends and that sort of thing, those flights home after losses are they suck.
Long one too.
And it's a long one. It's about one of the longer flights you can have. So they're going to have fun on the flight. They're going to enjoy themselves just like they did in the locker room. And then tomorrow they're going to come in and say, look, there was a lot of stuff that you need to get better at. And I think coaches enjoy that.
Yeah, and specifically one of the things that I feel definitely needs to be worked on is offensive line play. And we talked about the running game. 3-point some odd yards per carry, that's not going to get it done. Under 4 for Genty, that's not going to get it done. Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, there were 4 sacks that they gave up. A lot of it was on blitzes that the Patriots threw at the Raiders that they just were not picking up. And I talked to Colton Miller about that, and one of the things he said was like we kind of thought that this was how many pressures we were going to get, and it was way higher than that. So the Patriots, including that 0 coverage look on that third down, threw everything but the kitchen sink at the Raiders. Probably more so than they expected, and they weren't necessarily ready for it. But they did make some adjustments, and they got better at it in the second half. But I want to talk about Jackson Powers-Johnson. And I know on Twitter and social media he's kind of hearing about it. Not the best game, obviously, for Jackson Powers-Johnson. But without the benefit of looking at the tape, which we will, tonight and tomorrow, what do you think the issues were with Jackson today?
I mean, I think we see some of the same stuff. I mean, obviously, one that stands out is the just way too aggressive at times. They like that about him. They like a player that has a streak like that. That's one of the things they talked about when they drafted him. Mm-hmm. But you got to play on the edge without going over it, and we certainly saw one where he didn't. And then I think there was some, whether it's communication or whether it's just him not knowing an assignment or wherever it is, there was definitely some stunts that just were missed.
Yeah.
One in particular looks like, hey, he just missed a block. It was, to me, a communication thing. I'm not sure who was supposed to be there. Now, if I had to guess,
that's what Colton was talking about. Yeah.
If I had to guess based on how the rest of the line slid and who picked up who, I would imagine it was him that didn't understand the communication or didn't get the communication. But again, it is communication, so it very well could have been somebody else. It just looked that way here, seeing it live. But
absolutely,
that's the kind of things I'll talk about and try to figure out. But there certainly was a couple of times where that happened, and also, when we talk about Colton Miller saying they got maybe more pressure than they expected in certain areas, there was some that they knew. And talking to some of the guys that were involved on the touchdown to Trey Tucker, which was just so well done from everybody's point of view, from the line completely picking up the blitz that was coming,
the tight end, the running back.
Everybody worked together so well. They communicated. They understood where to pick it up. Geno Smith and taking enough time understanding that the pressure wasn't going to get there because nobody got through.
Yeah.
So despite the blitz, nobody was coming. So you had a chance to sit there and wait. Trey Tucker noticing safety was flat-footed to go across him, and multiple people that I talked to that were involved in that play said, we knew that pressure, we knew that blitz, we were waiting for it, we knew the play, and as soon as we saw that was coming, we knew we were going to score a touchdown on the play. Basically, everybody knew that as long as everybody did their job, they were scoring. They had talked about it all week, and they did it. And now the Patriots obviously adjust, as they do, and they did some different looks, and that's where the Raiders had some trouble adjusting. But the game plan was there. They understood it. They got the call they wanted, and they hit it.
Yeah, so the Raiders go up 7-0. Then they have a chance to go up 14-0, a promising drive. That's where Geno Smith got picked off. Just a bad throw, a bad decision, kind of forcing it into Brock Bowers. Becomes an interception. The Patriots tie it up 7-0 and ultimately take a 10-7 lead. That's what they take into halftime. And obviously some adjustments were made both offensively and defensively. Defensively, the Raiders basically pitched a shutout. There was a field goal that was kicked with 19 seconds left in the game. And I think what really was kind of a sneaky key to this game was the interception by Isaiah Pola-mao on the opening drive of the Patriots in the second half. Isaiah comes up with the interception, and instead of the Patriots going up by 2 scores, it leaves it at 10-7. The Raiders respond with the touchdown drive. Ashton Genty scores to make it 14-10. They never trailed after that. But specifically about the defense, what did you see in the second half?
Well, I actually want to point out something about that play that you just mentioned, and we'll get to that in a second because there are some things I think in the second half, but also that play in particular, I think, avoided something that I kind of saw potentially coming that we've seen in the Raiders in the past that we didn't see today.
And before we do that, I just want to let everyone know, look, you guys spoke up and we heard you loud and clear. Guess what? Vegas Nation, a digital subscription to Vegas Nation, the best coverage for Raider news and analysis. We're giving it away basically on a highly discounted price, 25 cents for the next 3 months of Vegas Nation coverage. That's a digital subscription to Vegas Nation the next 3 months for 25 cents. Just go to mylvrj.com/nation. That's mylvrj.com/nation and sign up for the best coverage, a digital subscription to Vegas Nation for 25 cents over the next 3 months. And when we get back, we'll hear what Adam has to say, what he saw, and what the Raiders ultimately saw on the play that pretty much changed the game. Welcome back to Vegas Nation First and 10, brought to you by the Las Vegas Review-Journal and Station Casinos STN Sports. Adam Hill, you were mentioning before we broke about something that you detected that the Raiders obviously saw as well.
Well, it was more just a feeling of something from the past, right? And I said it to you at the time. The Geno Smith interception to me felt like the Gardner Minshew interception in Denver, where they came out, they dominated that game early. They were just in control of everything, just like the Raiders were today early in this game. The Raiders came out, scored, 3 and out. Everything was going their way. It looked like they were on their way to like a 45-2 victory, 45-3 victory. Some of the 2 was ridiculous, like a 45-3 victory. And then all of a sudden, Geno Smith throws that interception, which was awful, of course. And it just they went into a funk, right?
Yeah.
Defensively, they started giving up some yards. Offensively, they couldn't do anything.
Right.
And it just felt like that Denver game, if you remember, after the interception where they dominated completely. It
was 101 yard.
Pick six inside the end zone, gets run back. And then Denver just completely took over the game from there. Everything fell apart. And it did for the Raiders, I thought, today for a while.
Yeah.
But then you make a play, like Isaiah Pola-mao makes a play, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it doesn't have to go that way. It doesn't have to just get spiraled out of control. Somebody makes a play, you can just get your footing back and settle in. And I thought that's what the Raiders did. I thought they needed somebody to make a big play. He did it. Also, I want to point out he made another play that I thought was very key where they got Trevion Henderson the ball out in the flat.
Yeah,
and,
tough tackle.
And he was able to come up, break down, make an open field tackle, and prevent what could have been a big play. It was basically just him out there. So really impressive play not long after the interception, actually. So good job by him, although I did talk to Isaiah a little bit, and he said – that dude's going to be real good.
Yeah, he is going
to be real good.
He is going to be really good.
He was very impressed by Trevion Henderson. Even though the numbers weren't massive, the Raiders saw some stuff out of him that they thought was really good. But, yeah, I mean, you make a play like that, and what Isaiah said was that he said he's making plays like that all the time and dropping them. In practice. And he said that the coaches have been telling him, like, if you hold on to the ball every once in a while.
it works out really good.
It's going to work out really well for us and for you.
Yeah.
And he said, I just knew I couldn't drop it. I don't want to hear about it again.
There you go.
I knew I had to come down with
He caught it when it counted, right? As they say. All right, so some defensive standouts for me. Devin White had a team-high 11 tackles. Felt like Caillou Blue-Kelly and really the secondary in general, the big concern, maybe the biggest concern of this team. I felt like the cornerbacks played reasonably well, and certainly Caillou Blue-Kelly, the former Bishop Gorman star, Stanford standout, really showed up to play and kind of announced why he won that job over Darian Porter. Isaiah played really well. I thought that Jamal Adams played good. We mentioned Devin White. Anybody else defensively?
Yeah, Devin was mine. I actually talked to him quite a bit after the game. I told him, it's been a while since he had double-digit tackles. And he was like, do you know when? And I said it to him, and he stopped me. He's like, yep, that's right, I remember now. He didn't remember at first, but he remembered.
Yeah.
It was week 1, 2023,
oh,
last
wow.
time that he had double-digit tackles. So he just said, he was saying, I know that I have something to prove. I think I proved it. He said, but obviously it's one game. He's like, this is what I'm going to do all year. This is what I'm going to be. So I thought that was an impressive performance.
Tyree Wilson played a good game.
Especially came up with the one pretty key sack there right in the middle of the field.
Max had a sack.
And I don't think the pressure necessarily was consistent enough. I actually want to see the pressure numbers that they were able to generate, but it got there in key time. So it seemed like the defensive line was a lot more dominant than maybe it was.
Right.
Like I said, we do this right after watching the game live, and you get a sense of what's going on for the most part. You see the plays, you see the flow of the game, that sort of thing. But there's bigger picture things sometimes that you miss in the live battle. So I think by the next time we talk, I'll probably watch the game 4 or 5 times and see some of the analytic breakdowns, and have a little bit better picture of it. But I thought that they weren't consistent, but when they got there in waves, and they got there at really, really key times. Obviously, the interception by pola-mao was generated by the pass rusher. That was just a horrific throw where Max got there. I think also Booker got there.
And we also know that so many adjustments are made between week 1 and week 2, like you said, the Raiders will make their adjustments. They'll figure out what they didn't do well, which there were a few things, no question, that they didn't do well. Build off what they did right. But I'll tell you this win here today for the Raiders, coupled with the Chargers' big win over the Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil on Friday night, sets up. I don't think ABC and ESPN and Disney and everybody else that do Monday Night Football, they cannot be happier right now having the Chargers coming to Allegiant Stadium next Monday night to play the Raiders in the Raiders home opener. That's got big game now written all over it. I know it's early in the season, but in terms of a matchup, you can't do better, obviously, than a one-on-one than 2 1-0 teams, and especially 2 old rivals like the Chargers and the Raiders.
Well, I think the TV executives are happy coming, even if the Raiders are 0-16 and the Chargers are 0-16. They just want to be in Vegas. I think that's a big part of it. But I think the advertisers are probably happy.
Yes,
I mean, more people,
I think the fans are going to be happy.
More people are probably watching for sure. So the Chargers look great, but they are coming from Brazil. That's a tough journey to come back, and they do get the extra day, obviously, like the Raiders do here. But they have, we'll see how they're able to come off that. I mean, usually when you travel far, you would come back and get a week off, but it's Brazil, so it's not Europe. So you get that tough travel without necessarily the benefits of it. I heard the Chargers team bus took 3 hours to get from the hotel to the stadium. I mean, that's just
the media hotel did as well. The media bus did as well.
Brutal.
Our guy Arash Markazi was giving us a blow by blow.
That's tough, but I mean, I think the Chargers looked fantastic. I thought the Raiders played well, obviously here on the road. So both teams go away from home. The Chargers was a home game technically, but they traveled. Both teams go away from home, get victories. And I think a lot of people will be excited coming into that game to see where both these teams stand. As will we. I want to say thank you to Heidi Fang, our great producer, for she was MacGyver over here, by the way, fixing things as we were going along. Thank you to Heidi. Thanks to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Thank you to the Station Casinos STN Sports. Thanks to our listeners, our viewers, our readers, everybody that comes to Vegas Nation, to our YouTube page, to our site, vegasnation.com, to read all of our great stories and see all of our great photo essays and all the great videos that everybody puts out. We just want to say thank you. Thank you for the support. Don't forget, go over to mylvrj.com/nation and get a digital subscription to Vegas Nation for 25 cents over the next 3 months. That's it from Gillette Stadium here in New England. We are going to be back at it on Wednesday when the Raiders return to work, getting set, or maybe it's Thursday. We don't know yet, actually, depending on what day they go back to work with the Monday night game next week. Thank you for all the support, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll talk to you guys on Wednesday or Thursday.